Frances Maxwell. I'm a gold distributor here in Arkadelphia, Arkansas, USA. And folks, I'm excited to be your presenter tonight on the subject, as you see there on the screen, prosperity mindset. It's a subject that I keep working on a continuing basis, and I'm sure that you will too once you hear this presentation. And I'm excited to see so many people on the call, on the computer, and on the telephone. So let's get started. You know, the information that I will be sharing with you is what I have experienced and learned in the past, and I'm still learning. And these are some of my beliefs, and they have come as a result of reading many books, listening to many audios, and listening to many of our leaders, and then re-listening and rereading and reinforcing all the information that I do learn. And to me, it's like building a strong, stable foundation for a large building or a large business organization. Each new book, audio person that I encounter adds to that foundation. And in this presentation, I will cover on our mindsets and the conscious and the subconscious mind. This is a power that we have within us. Each one of us has it, and it is to help us accomplish anything that we desire. It's a very powerful tool. And I recommend you use this information as food for thought and do some research regarding some of the information I will share, so you will also have it in your heart or your knower. Now, I use this comment, your knower. To me, we all have a lot of knowledge in our head, but when we experience things, then it gets in our heart or our knower, and then, you know, you're not ever the same again. You never go back to the way you were. So I call it my knower. And I'm going to focus on the prosperity mindset, how we can develop this mindset to overcome blocks, and that we may have in attaining our goals and our desires in life. You know, I've always had an unquenchable thirst to learn more and more about our subconscious and conscious mind, because that's where my power is to make the changes and the results that I want in my life. And many of you have heard my story. Dan sort of referred to it earlier, that I am a retired nurse, and I found my retirement benefits were not what I had expected. And as a result, I went searching for a way to increase my finances, and I became involved in many businesses without success. I signed up with NHT Global, and in a short time, I asked Joe Garcia to coach, mentor, and train me. I wondered what Joe had. Joe agreed to work with me, and we identified that I had an employee mindset, and I needed to change that to an entrepreneur mindset. I didn't have a business background or experience, and I lacked in many of the skills, communication skills, telephone skills, that were necessary to have a successful business. Joe recommended books, audios for me to read and listen to, people to surround myself with, winners, positive people, and I went to work on me and did those things that Joe's recommended, kept in daily touch with Joe, and in 4+ years, I was able to earn a check for $13,000 for 1 week, followed a short time with 3 checks totaling $17,600 in a week. Now, I want to do a quick comparison. I want you to do a little visualization. I want you to take 45+ years equals $13,700 a year, or 52 weeks, and then put below that 4+ years, $17,600 in 1 week. You know, whatever age you are, give this some thought. You know, the 45-year plan with a job versus NHT Global's 3 to 5 year plan. You know, to me it looks good, that 4.5 year plus and $17,600. So as a result, I have been able to raise my conscious level to experience the success with continuing to work on this on a daily basis. And I want to say that if you are not open and willing to do the work on yourself, you're not going to experience much success. It has to be a continuing basis, as Jamie mentioned, consistency. You will continue to get what you have been getting. And hey, if you're happy with that, great. But it takes a constant dedication, a commitment to yourself to make those changes in your beliefs to become aware and raise your conscious level. Joe has done a great training on commitment that I would recommend you review. It's on the steamteam.ca site. And so moving forward, I want to share a common definition of mindset. And mindset is a mental attitude or inclination or a fixed state of mind. And I want to emphasize this, a mental attitude or inclination or a fixed state of mind. And with that, then we'll move on to poverty and prosperity. And these are the mindsets. The poverty mindset that is that over time, poverty creates a mindset and certain beliefs about yourself and the world that limits perceptions, choices, motivations, and behaviors in ways that tend to perpetuate the condition. Prosperity mindset would mean an attitude or inclination that causes us to focus on abundance. Rich means having an abundance of good or living a fuller, more satisfying life. It means that I'm prosperous to the degree that I'm experiencing peace, health, happiness, and plenty in my world, and this can apply to all areas in my life, not only finances. But you know, most people focus on the opposite. They focus on wanting more prosperity, seeking greater wealth. In other words, they tend to focus on lack and the fact that they do not yet have that wealth or prosperity, which means they actually have a scarcity or poverty mindset. They focus more on what they're lacking, and that is what they attract. And again, remember the law of attraction. What you focus on is what you get. So with prosperity and your subconscious mind, you know, I'm going to talk about subconscious mind here now and how it affects our prosperity mindset. And the more I read and study about the conscious and subconscious mind, the more I know that I have only tapped into the tip of the iceberg of our mind. You know, you've seen those pictures where up in the Iceland there's a big iceberg there, then underneath there's a huge iceberg underneath the water. Well, this is sort of my concept of the tip of the iceberg of our mind. And I'm just amazed as to how powerful the subconscious mind is and what all it controls and what all it can do for me. Let's see if we can now learn some more about how it affects our prosperity. Keep in mind as we move forward that we think in images or pictures, and our thoughts are energy. The subconscious mind stores all of the events in our life, but we remember only about 10% of the events in our conscious mind. The rest are stored in our subconscious mind, with us making decisions and living our lives on those memories that we do not remember. Many of them may have been formed when we were children, based on a child's perception, and this forms many of our belief systems. If you've ever listened or read Bob Proctor and his "You Were Born Rich" information, several times he mentions that he would be asked why he did something, and he would answer, "I don't know." And he honestly didn't know at that time why he was doing what he was doing. His actions, again, may have been based on the memories and beliefs that were in his subconscious mind that he had no memory of. And, you know, have you ever had that happen to you? I have. You know, our subconscious mind filters out also a lot of information that we're exposed to on a daily basis. You know, just think about all the stuff that's going on every day that you're exposed to. And your mind has this protective measure to protect your mind, and if it didn't, we'd go crazy due to all that information that we're exposed to on a daily basis. It filters out information based on our belief system. Some of our beliefs may be untrue, so this filtering system keeps us from seeing or hearing the truth or being able to realize the untruth. You can overcome this to some degree by being aware of this and to be open-minded to other information. You can listen to someone who has an opposing view of what you have and evaluate what they're saying before you judge that they're wrong and you're right. And you know, this reminds me of a personal incident that happened between my husband and I. We were in one of those discussions where we did not agree. And I was so sure that I was right and he was wrong. And folks, all of a sudden something happened to me and I was able to see his point of view. And guess what? He was right and I was very, very wrong. So now when I have an opposing opinion, especially with him, I remember this incident and try to hear what he is saying and what his point is, instead of being so focused and so ready to get my point over that I'm not open to his. This gives us an opportunity to look at our belief system and to see if we can remember what it is based on. As our conscious level grows, we become more aware of some of our wrong thinking. An example is, what are your beliefs regarding money? Ask yourself, are these beliefs serving you? Or are they some untrue beliefs that you are using to make your decisions from? Excuse me. You know, with your conscious mind, you can choose what you think. You can choose good, happy, healthy thoughts and memories, or negative, sad, unhappy thoughts. You have a choice. It's up to you. Not so with your subconscious mind. Remember what I said a short time ago. We think in images or pictures, and the subconscious mind works by association. If you think of any event in your past, it could be Christmas, Thanksgiving, or any time. If you had a negative memory of that event, your subconscious mind will reactivate that experience just like it was just happening again now in real time. And you will feel all the emotions, etc., that you experienced at that time without knowing why. It can be triggered by a word, a person, a smell, and it can occur without any connection to what you're doing at that time. Just any time you can have this like flashback. So most of us definitely have some wrong beliefs in our subconscious mind, blocking us from going to the next level to financial success and attaining the financial goal that we have set. Now, I'd like to again share a little story of how my belief system, based on a child's perception, affected my life for many years. And some of you have heard this story before. I had not given much thought to what my money person looked like to me until I received an email on the internet. And I sort of passed it off, then I went back to it and I read it and realized that my money person resembled my father of many years ago as I was growing up during the Depression time. And you know that the Depression time was a very tough financial time for the whole United States. And my money person was in big overalls. My father was a farmer. There was a frown on his face, and his fisted hands were in his pockets. He looked very stressed. After looking at that, I was able to change that image into a young man in a tuxedo, a scarf around his neck, a smile on his face. He had money falling out of his pockets, had his hands full of money, and lots of it blowing in the wind, and he was giving it all to me. And you know, that really made a difference in changing my take on money as well, when I changed that opinion of what my vision of what my money person wants. So have you thought about what your money person looks like? You might, you know, if it's a good time for you, take a look at it, and maybe you need to change it. Your poverty and prosperity mindset is also dependent on our self-image. You know, how do I see myself? Am I undeserving? Do I feel I'm unworthy? Do I feel I'm unable to manage money? Do I have a fear of failure, a fear of success, a fear of rejection? As we have learned, our self-image has a great deal to do with our programming as a child again. This program also contributes to our belief system, and many of us have heard these statements as children and as adults pertaining to money. Money doesn't grow on trees. I'm not made of money. We can't afford that. That is just for rich people. We may be poor, but we are honest. And as adults, how about movies, TV, and media that portrays the rich as not honest people, uncaring, and unhappy people? How about books you read, novels, people you associate with? I have a long-term friend that thinks people get rich by stealing from the poor. And I've not been able to change his idea on that either. So programming by our different religions that it is spiritual to be poor, that we are worshiping a false god when we're rich or desiring to be rich, that it is difficult to get to heaven if you're rich, these all contributed to those untrue belief systems that limit us financially. If you pick up your Bible and read about the great leaders in the Bible, they were all extremely rich and were used by God, and he prospered them. We were told it is wrong to desire more, but I believe God put dissatisfaction within us, and this is what drives us each and every day to keep improving and to become better persons to improve our lives. To attain that next level of consciousness, to attain that next goal, to help more people by teaching them by example. Not responding to that dissatisfaction can be due to a number of things. Fear, again, in a comfort zone and not wanting to go through that terror barrier, not motivated enough to make those changes. See yourself as a victim, fear of success, fear that friends will no longer like you. Also can be due to some of the beliefs that we have, that we aren't good enough, not deserving enough, poor self-esteem, subconscious fear of failure. So, again, the law of attraction. I have learned the basic law of prosperity is vibration and attraction, that what I radiate or vibrate outward by my thoughts, feelings, mental pictures, and words, I attract into my life. I do want to give you a little reminder about the law of attraction. You can't get something for nothing. You must vibrate in order to attract, and you must give to receive, or put another way, you must sow in order to reap. If you don't do this, you haven't made contact with God's abundance. So there is no connection or channel formed between you and God through which the abundance can come to you. God isn't into the free handout or something for nothing. Remember, He knows all. If you think you have nothing to give, look around you and see all that you do have. It can be items or yourself or your time. So consciously take control of your thoughts and feelings. Focus on prosperity and abundance. Claim the promises of God. Think of this verse. Now, this is a verse that Joe shared with us just recently in one of his trainings. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it shall be open to you. For everyone that asks receives, and he that seeks finds, and he who knocks, it shall be opened. Only you can vibrate and think about what you really want to experience in life rather than focusing on failure and unpleasant events. It is what we really think deep within ourselves that affects our results, not the big front we present to others. Keep in mind, you are a magnet. Whatever I focus on and center my attention on steadily, constantly, consistently in my thoughts, feelings, and expectations will form in my life. So mentally choose, accept, and vibrate what you wish in your life rather than struggle. It will give you a great victorious feeling or feeling of accomplishment when you see the results that you're going to get. Now I'm going to talk about the laws of prosperity. And, you know, Randy Gage shared some information on the different laws of prosperity. I think he has several books on it. The first one he mentions is the law of vacuum, which is the universe cannot put good into your hands until you let go of what you're holding in it. If you're holding on to something negative, there is no room for a positive to come into your life. The law applies to all areas of your life, work, relationship, belongings, etc. For example, if you want some new clothes, give away some of yours and you will have room for the new things. Clean out and organize and fill that vacuum with good. Using the law of vacuum for prosperity, create a vacuum and you will attract prosperity. Circulation law. When a substance is circulated, you break the energy block and keep prosperity flowing freely. When we hoard things, it stops the flow. Circulation of your money brings prosperity results. Imaging Law of Prosperity, or Imagining Law of Prosperity. You must see your prosperity in your mind first. When you imagine things in your mind, you are programming your subconscious mind to manifest them. Just write a movie script of what you want your perfect day to be like. And this is another example of how powerful our subconscious mind is, because when you keep repeating this, it gets embedded in your subconscious mind. The creative law. Man can manifest prosperity from the ethers by the power of ideas, visions, and imagination. Everything has its origin in your mind, and our thoughts start that process. Law of giving and receiving. You can't outgive the universe. The great thing about this law is that the more you give, the more you get back. What you give comes back to you tenfold. Give only good, and you will only get good back. This involves giving to different charities, persons, in different areas that are your favorites. Law of tithing. Universe will always get its tithes. Tithing is giving back 10% to God. This is done on the gross of your income. God is the source of all things. So this is just giving back to Him by contributing to your church, temple, place of worship, wherever. Law of forgiveness says that if you cannot forgive, you cannot accept abundance. There are 3 recommendations, 3 recommended steps for forgiveness. Mentally forgive everyone you are out of harmony with. Mentally ask for forgiveness for people you have wronged in the past, gossiped about, or other disharmony with. Forgive yourself, especially for your failures and your mistakes. And I have listed some tools. And it's essential to have good tools and use them in the right way. Some various faculties of our mind are the tools in which we must use to make changes. And you're the only person who can make those changes. You're the only person in your mind. And the first one is attitude. Think prosperity. Avoid negative thoughts, words in association with negative persons, because this will negate your positive thoughts and feelings. Avoid being critical and jealous of successful and wealthy persons or anyone. Don't compare yourself with anyone. Get rid of the victim attitude. Take responsibility for your own actions or lack of. Take the initiative to make needed changes in you. This is within our nature to be advancing, to always be advancing and desiring for more. But we are not in competition with anyone. No one else is going to beat you to what you want. There is plenty for all. And you are more creative when you're not competitive. Gratitude gives us an opportunity to be thankful for what we have, our experiences, and the person we have become. I challenge you to find 7 new things on a daily basis to be grateful for. Jot them down every day. Focused, daily doing the basic things that leads to success. Daily reading, listening to audios, training, sharing the business, and showing the products, and focused on our goals. Committed, that you are not going to quit. If you don't get results immediately or encounter a bump in the road, you're just never going to quit. You will stick to it no matter what. Affirmations. Affirmations help to change negative thoughts to positive ones. Affirm rich, unlimited success for yourself no matter what is going on. Use the I am statements. I am successful. I am a great mentor. I am a great coach. I'm a great recruiter. And then associate with successful people. You become who you surround yourself with. You're a product of your environment. Read success stories, biographies of famous people. Donald Trump, Bill Gates, Dan Cattle, Joe Garcia, just to name a few people who are very successful. Read their stories and see the adversaries and the things that they had to overcome to become successful people, but they consistently continued on and persevered. Be accepting of others. Allow others to be who they are without trying to change or control them. Meditation and visualization. Remember, we think in pictures, so by meditation and visualization, you will be able to create that movie of what you desire, as I mentioned earlier. Things cannot improve in the outer way until we make inner changes. So what is money? Money is part of the magic of life. It is an enabling force that allows us to be the real person, who we really are. It allows you to go wherever you wish to go, do what you wish to do, and become who you desire to be. Listen to Dan Cattle and Joe Garcia when they share. And that's what they have, is freedom. Money is God in action. All of our abundance comes from a source, and that source is God. He wants us to be prosperous and happy. There is no lack in our universe but abundance. What will you let God give you? Scarcity or poverty thinking brings out the worst in us, including fear, pride, jealousy, selfishness, and adversary competition. Poverty causes people to lie, cheat, steal, and even to kill. To me, poverty isn't spiritual. It isn't how God wanted me to live or to be. So think prosperity. Replace scarcity with abundance, and this helps you to increase your creativity, your productivity, health, wealth, and happiness. So there are many great sources of information for your subconscious mind and prosperity. And there's Bob Proctor, Dr. Robert Anthony, Randy Gage, Catherine Pondry, many of our trainings on the steamteam.ca site that Joe and Dan and many of the other leaders have done for us. So each day there is new information. regarding the conscious and subconscious mind. And I know Joe has done many trainings on the conscious and the subconscious mind and our mindsets. So check out the STEAM Team site. And my wish is that you will benefit from this information as I have in preparing it. And it will help you to become aware of the blocks that you may have, taking measures to remove them so you can attain success in all areas of your life. So I wish all of you prosperity. Thanks again. Until the next time, this is Frances Maxwell signing off.